And I said to him, I'm not afraid of you, Shane. I'm not afraid of you. I'm terrified of him, but that's what I said to him. Always face down, a mad dog. And he said, I don't care whether you're afraid of me or not. You and Tucker.
The film, From the Dark, features actress Tucker Moore as a woman who murders a man under the guise of self-defense. The role may have come naturally to her as she killed her uncle, Shane Moore, under similar circumstances. Hi, I'm your host, Claire, and you're watching Chasey is Hot. Aisling Tucker Moore Reed, also known by her pen name Tucker Reed or Win Reed, was born on October 15, 1989 in Los Gatos, California. She is the daughter of New York Times bestselling authors Kelly Moore and Dan Reed. Before reaching 30, Tucker had already reached levels of success few people achieve in a lifetime. She was a woman who seemed to be on a successful career path, but then everything went south. At some point in 2015, Tucker's mother, Kelly Moore, announced her intentions to sell a family property in the Applegate, Oregon. This did not sit well with Kelly's brother, Shane, who was in his early 60s and lived in a trailer on the property. He feared he'd become homeless if the property were to be sold. On July 26, 2016, Shane had arranged for a notary to come to the property to sign property conveyance documents. Tucker, Kelly Moore, and Laura Moore, Tucker's grandmother and the property owner, were meeting with a notary inside the home located at the property. During this time, Shane came to the door to ask what was going on. Shane and Kelly Moore had a conversation at the door. Tucker, who was in another room, picked up the gun, walked over to the door, told Shane Moore to get out of the house, and pulled the trigger, causing Shane Moore's death from a single bullet wound to the chest.
You know, obviously we have questions, and that's entirely your right to do. Here's kind of the way that works with us. We can come in here and talk to you, and we can keep talking to you until that point. You probably know that if you've been around, you know, crime writing or anything like that.
I was pre-law before this.
Okay, you know probably better than I do.
In my life now.
I know. Yeah, but that kind of ends our interview at this point.
Right.
We don't. I think we've both been doing this long enough. We don't get grumpy with you or anything. You know.
Appreciate it.
You know.
I do want to mention that he had a friend there who was trying to do chest compressions because the EMTs weren't coming because there was a report of someone with a gun, and we kept saying that the gun had been put away, and he wasn't doing it right, and I helped do a chest compression on my uncle, and I could feel that the man had been doing it wrong. I was certified to do it before, and every bone was broken, and it just felt like jelly.
I have one more thing I want to add to the detective's record, if they're still available.
Sorry.
Hi. No worries. I just wanted to add one more thing.
Okay. There's kind of something we got to do before. If you want to talk to us right now, we kind of have to go through your right.
Again?
Oh yeah.
I know them.
Okay, I know.
I have to advise you that.
Listen,
Okay.
We did have a 911 call from that house. We had a call to our dispatch. This is a computer-aided dispatch sheet.
On which day?
Today. That's today's date. And the time that call was initiated was 1:44. Okay. Can you see what that covers? Your uncle called, reporting that you fired a gun on the property today.
Well,
Prior to that time.
well, that's bizarre.
Here, the detective tells Tucker that they received a call from Shane on the same day he died, saying he heard a shooting coming from the house. At first, Tucker looks like she doesn't know anything about the shooting, but a moment later, Tucker tells why there was a shooting that morning.
I found a gun that I believed belonged to my grandfather. I wanted to know if it was loaded. I took it outside onto the porch and I fired it. That was this morning.
Okay. Was that the gun that was used?
Yes.
Okay.
I gave it to my mother afterwards, saying, I think that this gun, I didn't even know how to use it. It doesn't need to be cocked to shoot, but I thought it did earlier this morning. So
we were just kind of curious about the
you'll be able to see the gun.
Yeah. Okay. So was it meant to scare him or anything like that?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
People are always shooting.
Okay.
You can see my grandmother's.
That's important.
That helps right there. That
Okay.
puts your voice on it. But let me ask you about, are you a gun person?
No.
All right.
No,
Have you
no.
ever shot a gun before this morning in your life?
My friend from Arkansas, when I went to USC, took me to a gun range, and he laughed at me the whole time.
Okay.
So,
all right.
You don't own any guns.
I don't own guns. I'm not licensed
Okay.
to carry. No.
Okay. So that kind of raises another question. What made you go out today? What was going on in your mind to make you want to test fire that gun today, to make sure it worked?
I don't know. I've been scared out of my mind for so long. I just saw this thing.
Were you thinking, let me ask you this, Tucker, were you thinking
You're
that
doing good.
if because obviously what's kind of in the forefront of your mom and you's mind is the potential for threats and the potential for violence. Were you thinking that I ought to shoot this just, I mean, you've already talked about barricading the doors.
Yeah.
And were you thinking of why to shoot this gun just in case something happens?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you're thinking of the gun as a protection.
It's just the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Was there any thoughts in your mind about causing any harm to Shane at all before
No,
this happened?
absolutely not. No.
What
No, I've been ready to testify in court to get him put away.
Okay, what?
And my mom, and I ran. This is the thing. My mom ran, and I could hear her making noises, and I started screaming. And this is where it gets hazy for me. I picked up the gun off the table because it was on the table. That's where my mother had put it. Shane started opening the door and entering the house.
Okay.
And he was banging the door into my mother, and my mother was screaming, and he was screaming. And I had the gun, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
Take your time.
And I don't even remember what happened. I was like screaming, and I thought that you had to cock a gun for it to go off. And it was,
Did the gun go off?
yes. And
Was it-
I thought
was
that
it
it was
in your
gonna,
hand?
yes.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Why did you pick up the gun? And there's no wrong or right answer here, Tucker. It's just we're trying to figure out.
I was absolutely sure he was going to kill my mother. He told her earlier in the day that he was going to kill her if she messed anything up for him, and she ripped pieces of paper up right in front of him.
And was that something that your mom told you that he had made that threat, or did
Yes.
you hear him make that?
According to Tucker, Shane came there to kill her mother, but there was no such evidence to prove that. He had no weapon, and his behavior was non-threatening or aggressive.
And again, I want to ask this just to be clear. Do you make a conscious decision to fire the gun?
I don't think, no.
Tell me about that.
Because to fire a gun, I've always thought you had to cock a gun.
Cock it meaning the hammerback?
Yeah, whatever that is.
Single action.
Right.
This gun doesn't do that. It just fired.
There's two ways to fire a revolver. There's what's called single action and there's double action. You can pull the hammer back and pull the trigger. Or you can pull the trigger and it makes the hammer go back and then fall forward.
That's what happened.
Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong here. When you test fired the gun earlier, how did you fire it?
I pulled the hammer back
Okay. Oh, and you fired it one time?
one time.
Is it possible, Tucker, that you might have pulled the hammer back and you didn't realize you were pulling it back because you were scared, or
No. No.
you were pretty confident?
I'm
you pulled the
absolutely
trigger?
positive that I did not pull the hammer back.
Okay. So
I was just waving it.
Okay. You believe, even knowing yourself and everything else, what do you think caused the trigger the gun to get fired?
Probably squeezing on it. Just
No, I'm saying, what was going through your mind? Why do you think this happened?
Because I don't understand how guns work.
What could be some other reasons that this might have happened?
I think it really comes down to me being panicked, ignorant, and
And
Where was he shot?
where was he shot?
Shot in the center of the chest.
What?
I could never have made that shot if I tried. Oh my god.
Did you intentionally pull the trigger?
No, I might have, but I didn't think that it was cocked.
Did you know if the gun was loaded?
The gun, I'm pretty sure the gun was loaded. It was loaded earlier in the morning. I don't know how many bullets were in the chambers. It could have been empty.
Shane actually told his friend the day that he died, one of them, he's going to kill me. As Shane was bleeding to death and howling in pain, Tucker was yelling an expletive at him to die.
Did you give any warning to him other than,
I have a gun?
yeah?
I told him.
Can you, in your best words and your best recollection, tell us, best you can, exactly what you said to him when you got up there?
Leave my mother alone.
Okay.
Get the hell out of here.
What I'd like you to do, Tucker, is do it in the voice and the loudness that you actually said it. Just reenact it for us. As loud as you need to be.
You know you're not supposed to be here. Get out of here. I have a gun. Leave. You're violent. We all know you're violent. Get out of here. It was very loud. There was no mistaking it.
Did you say it just like that? Is that what you remember?
No, it was something like that. It was.
But in that
literally-
voice, so could he have heard you?
Oh yeah. I mean, he saw me.
Okay. He saw you with the gun. He knew you had the gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at me. Did you want to kill your uncle?
No. I wish my uncle wasn't around. I wish that my uncle had left and gone to live with my uncles down in Mariposa. He was dangerous, and I hated him. But no, I did not want to kill my uncle. I did not want to ruin my life. I did not want to ruin my family's life, and I didn't want to put my grandmother in that kind of position because she could stroke out or have a heart attack. And then sometimes he would be nice, and he would say, I won't hurt you, and everyone will be safe if you just drop the charges.
Here, Tucker talks about the charges of assault by Shane. In 2015, Tucker accused her uncle of assaulting her and was able to receive a court order that commanded him to stay away from her.
Don't get me wrong there. I think you misunderstood me. Did you just want to, was it curiosity?
It was curiosity. It was also, I had this feeling in my head, maybe he'll hear the gunshot and he won't come around anymore.
Okay.
And obviously he did hear it, and my mother was I was there with her when she was on the phone with him and said, yeah, Tucker fired this gun this morning. I don't know if she was trying to bait him or whatever. I don't know if that's what made today so horrible, but...
I just, the question he asked about if there's anything you could have done different. And has anything like this, have you ever been in this situation previous?
I told you that he's come after my mom and that I picked up things like shovels.
Okay. Never struck him or anything like that?
No, just tried to back him away, and that's what I was doing.
Okay.
I was trying to get him away from the door so the door could be locked.
Okay. All right.
Did you think Shane was going to cause you harm coming through the door?
Yes.
Cause who harm?
Actually, to be honest, the more I think, I didn't know. But realistically, probably me. Probably me.
And why?
Because he knows that my mom doesn't care about anybody else in the world as much as she cares about me. And neither does my grandma. And he could force something.
Okay.
Even in front of a notary, this man is a meth addict. He's crazy.
Okay. Why do you think you shot him?
I think because I felt like there was a knife to my throat and I didn't have anywhere to run.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
But I don't think I didn't mean to shoot the gun.
Okay.
I didn't mean to shoot the gun.
In this particular case, what we need to do is clear out all suspicion that this was something that you shot him because you don't like him.
Right.
Okay.
I would never
And
have done
to end all the problems with all the threats and everything else.
Yeah. No, I would never have shot him in front of so many witnesses if it was just a case of me not liking him. I would not have done it.
Do you remember pulling the trigger?
No. Yes. I don't know.
Okay.
I know
Do you think you did anything wrong?
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to go to hell.
What do you think you did wrong? And that's why I asked you, do you think you could have done something different? Because you've been around him a couple times. He's never tried to kill you before, or there's people there. I would think that...
This is different. He'd been threatening us all day and for days, and he wanted my grandmother's money, and this is completely different.
Is there anything in there when we do go into the house, is there anything we should know about it we haven't talked about, evidence-wise, that we should gather that would help shed some light on this? I asked about cell phones. There's a computer in there. Is there anything that's going to have correspondence or anything you can think of that'll help?
At her house or at Grandma's house?
At the Grandma's house. Anywhere for that matter.
I can't think right now. I'll try.
At the time, Tucker filed a notice of intent to rely upon the justification defense of self, defense of others, and defense of premises. Under Oregon law, a person is allowed to use physical force upon another person for self-defense, or the defense of third person for what the person reasonably believes to be the use or imminent use of unlawful physical force. 3 days later, Tucker was indicted on charges of first and second degree manslaughter. She was not charged with murder because not only did she have a restraining order against her uncle, but her mother also testified that the shooting had been in self-defense. She was released on bail at $100,000. Shane's brother later tells police in his taped interview, he said Shane worked hard to care for his parents and maintain their property. When asked if Shane was ever violent, he stated, "I have never witnessed him being aggressive or violent." In September 2018, Tucker was rearrested and slapped with a new charge of murder based on the review of a cell phone video that police originally didn't see because they didn't have her password. Here is the 20-second video that changed everything.
Yes, this man, he threatened this woman's life, my mother, unless she signed that paper.
Unless my mother signed it.
This is up to you.
Yeah, she's not signing a grantee. She's not signing a grantee. She's not, I was told it wasn't, she was told it was an inheritance, a will.
An addendum to her will.
A will. This is a grantee. You're not signing a grantee, Mother. No, I
Do you understand what a grantee is?
He's coming into the house. God damn it.
Pick up the gun. She's not signing a grantee, Shane. I thought it was a will. She's not signing a grantee.
You son of a bitch.
She's not signing a grantee. It's her property.
She said she signed it. Yeah, if you told her. Get out of here.
Jesus! 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 Oh God! She shot it! Oh God! Oh God! Oh Tucker!
He wasn't supposed to be around me. He's violent and dangerous. He's threatening his life.
This 911. Give me the gun, honey. Give me the gun. Why? You need the gun.
Here.
Oh my God.
He was in her face.
What do you think? Was it a self-defense act or a murder? In May 2020, Tucker was sentenced by Judge Baymack to 75 months in the custody of the Oregon Department of Corrections, with 3 years of post-prison supervision. At the sentencing, Tucker stated she was very sorry for the pain she caused her family.
Can you tell us why you think Tucker might have shot him?
I can't tell you if Tucker shot him. I didn't say Tucker shot him.
Okay. Did the notary shoot him?
I have no idea who shot him.
Okay. Did you shoot him?
I don't think so. I don't know.
You don't think so? You don't know?
I can hardly remember. The trauma of that moment was so appalling and horrifying.
Have I?
I never lie. I never lie.